Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back for another glorious episode of the Tent Tabernacles Podcast, where we meet God through the person of Jesus Christ.
Yes, we're excited to be here. We love it. It's
We're
our favorite day
now.
of the week. Yes.
We're official now. We have a guest. We'll introduce him later.
Yes, we have a guest. And we are 7 episodes in. This is our 7th episode. We are like
complete. Y'all are
yes. I mean, we're not. I don't know if we complete, but that's a good number. 7 is a good number. So in Jesus' name, this episode is gonna be legit.
Fire.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Before we get in too far, we're gonna start off with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for being with us today and showing us more about you. And Father, we ask that anyone who watches this or listens to this is blessed only by you. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay.
Amen.
So this guy over here, if you're listening, he is to one of my sides because
it doesn't matter for you.
It doesn't. Yeah, he's to one of my sides, and this is my lovely husband.
Ooh.
Introduce yourself, babe.
Oh, okay. I'm her husband.
Cool. Your name is?
My name is Kalik. Yes, and I'm a guest today.
Yeah.
Yay.
Why do I feel so awkward?
I don't know, because we definitely have a podcast together and you don't feel awkward.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's just the first time jitters. I mean, even when we started this, I feel like
I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous.
Feel awkward?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because of how you have to sit by the mic? How you have to lean in?
I don't know. Now that I said I'm awkward, I feel less awkward. So we might be good now. We might be good.
That's good.
Good.
I guess we can start off with our highs and our tries from this past week.
Okay.
So
who's going first?
I guess, babe, since he's new, I'll explain highs and tries again. This is our 7th episode and all.
Thanks.
The highs and the tries is the points where obviously, we were, high in the week, like the high points in our week. And then anything that's that be trying us and trying our spiritual walk during the week. And then anything that we may have learned or done to make it better. So, yeah. Do you want to go first?
No.
You're the guest. You're going first.
Why y'all be?
Wow. Come on now, you want to be on the podcast?
All y'all guess y'all gonna put them on a spot like this?
Yeah,
everybody gonna be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
The highs and the tries. Okay, highs. I'm gonna go slow on my high because I'm thinking about a try. Highs. There's we thank the Lord for promotion, promotion at work, things of that nature. Moving up and things of that nature. Developing things so that I come to a better peace of mind about things. Really working on myself. Doing what I'm supposed to do, doing what God's telling me to do. And feeling successful in that. Hold on, I'll be right back.
I think that was wonderful. Doing what God tells me to do is what we all want to do.
Yes.
Our
dogs are being mad rude right now. But this is life, people. We're coming at you real and raw, having a conversation. Y'all just flies on the wall. I love you and I appreciate you, but y'all just flies on the wall.
Yeah. One day, one day, if the Lord sees fit, one day we'll have a situation where people can leave us alone. And it won't be babies in the background yelling or dogs scruffling on the floor.
Right.
But we're only on episode 7, not episode
700. Oh.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm going to go to 207.
207. How many weeks more is till 207?
A lot, because there's only 52 weeks in a year.
That's a long time from now. 207.
It is. So I'll put 207 instead of 700.
Yeah, 700 is a long time. Look, come on. The Lord is
4 years.
Better than that. The Lord can do it in less time. I believe it. But so he gave us his high. What was his try? I know it's hard. It's
Yeah,
hard to think about.
and I'm definitely more of a like. I'll be forgetting about my try moments because
Mm,
I'm quick to throw them away.
the
Um,
Lord is good. Oh, y'all are muted.
His try is that he can't think of a try.
Okay. It's not a bad thing if you don't have a try for the week. I think
Exactly.
that's good. That's a reflection of a great week.
Yes.
So, who's next? Is it
I can
me or
go.
you? Okay.
I can go. So last week a high was that it was very restful. Um, like I can't really think of like anything that I would have rather done in that week. So I feel like I was accomplished too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I left anything in last week or like left anything that should have been in last week, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, and then a try. Yeah, on Sunday, my chest was starting to get tight. I don't know what was dealing with the whole breathing situation. I got to get that under control because it comes out of nowhere sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it was a pretty decent week. We got
mhm,
fed at church.
mhm.
His
Ooh.
mom cooked. It was great.
Oh
It
wow.
was
Yeah,
wonderful.
that's my
Food
try.
always is
I'm gonna
good.
piggyback on her try because yeah, we're married anyway. We're one.
Yes, that is true. One flesh. Yes. I feel like I don't even have one. I was getting on y'all, but I'm like, because I really be feel like my weeks
It's
be
great.
running together.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me think. What week are we in? Because today was kind of a blur. I could do my high maybe today. I went and got another massage.
Yes.
But I feel like she didn't do as good of a job this time. I'm gonna try another lady the next time. But it was still cool. But I was like woozy afterwards. Like how sometimes. Well, this is what happened. I think this is why I was woozy. So I was like, I was gonna try to fast one day a week, but I feel like I shouldn't fast on the days that I get massages
Yeah, that's probably
because
not the best idea.
I
Yeah.
almost passed out.
Oh Lord.
Like afterwards. That's why when I text you, I was like seeing stars. I didn't know what I was seeing. Yeah.
Well,
But speaking of fasting, I've done the fast before, but I've never like fasted completely from food the whole day.
hmm
And I was like, how did Jesus do that for 40 days? I could barely get through the day. I was like, I am about to die. But the massage
listen,
didn't help, but I was like about to fall on the ground. All I was drinking was water.
Did you
That's
get
it.
your face stones?
No, not this time. I should have though, but I think I'm gonna do it next time. I think I might go get a facial next time actually.
ooh,
Yeah, even though I'm
that
kind of scared
sounds
of it.
wonderful.
What do you do? Like beat on your face?
A
No,
facial, they like moisturize your face. They remove
extract
like
pimples.
they extract dirt and stuff that's
Hmm
Oh,
trash.
And yeah,
that would be fun.
it would
Yeah,
be.
y'all can go get like couples massage and facial. You can get like a package. Maybe for
That'd be
maybe
wonderful.
for Valentine's Day. It's far, but it's not that far because
Listen,
those things can kind of be expensive.
yeah.
That would
You
be
gotta plan
wonderful for Valentine's
Oh
Day. We'll come
really?
back on the podcast
and
around
report
Valentine's Day
back.
to see if he has done that. Um,
What was my try? I don't know. My try. I don't know. I guess I had a busy week at work. Work has just been like by October I don't be wanting to be at work anymore. I'll be like, I'm done. I did a lot of work for the year. I almost hit my goals.
In
Like,
that 10th month, you like
yeah,
yeah, it's like by the
we can
fourth
wrap it up.
quarter.
that's a good even number.
By the fourth quarter, I'm like I'm looking at my numbers, and if I know I'm gonna like hit my budget, which I am, I'm just like, hmm,
Right.
you know.
It's just
Right.
so specific. Like, yeah, October, I'm done working.
Yeah, because it's like if you work really hard from like January to
Hmm.
September,
Yeah.
By October, you're done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
That's
And
fair.
November and December is just holidays, so I don't even
Yeah.
think about those months. But October, I'm pretty much done. So that's all I can think about. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Busy work week. I could piggyback on that try too, actually.
Yeah, and a lot of people been having like big projects, which I'm grateful for because it's only gonna add on to my monies.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, bruh, it's October. I want to chill. And y'all try to come at me with 100-gallon orders. Thank you, Lord. But
Y'all should have done this in September.
In July, August.
Yeah, when I was working hard.
Right.
I wanted to work hard.
Yeah. Now I'm like, I just want to sit at home and sleep and read my Bible. And nobody is allowing me to do that.
So hard.
That's all I want to do. And edit video. I'm just behind. Yeah, so I guess we should get into it, get into the meat of what we're talking about today. We're in Numbers.
That's why I'm looking at my phone.
That's fine. We're in Numbers. I'm going to give my little rundown of the who, what, when, and why, like I always do, so we can set the scene.
I love it when you do that.
Yeah, it helps me, so I think it'll help other people. When I started reading the Bible that way, it made it like real to me. Like this is real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the fourth book of the Bible. So we're still with Moses. We're still with the writing of Moses. If you don't like the way he writes, you got one more book after this. We just had a complaint about his writing the other day, but I don't know if she wants to talk about it.
You said if you don't like how he writes?
Yeah.
Vic said that.
Oh, if you don't like how he writes?
If you don't like
how he writes?
He repeats himself.
If you don't like how he writes? Oh, I'm speaking like how he writes.
Oh! I was like, yeah.
Exactly.
That's why.
If you don't like how he writes, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we're still with Moses, but I love him to death because he
the
really
Lord anointed him, you know.
Yes. Let's see.
He definitely teaches me long suffering.
He what?
He's teaching me long suffering.
Oh yeah. I mean, he teaches a lot. I think he just really his thing is he really wants people to get it.
Yeah.
So he's like, you don't have an excuse not to get it because I wrote it down.
Right. Word for word, bar for bar, all of it.
Yeah. Let me see. Obviously, we know that Numbers was written before Moses died. But we also know that it was written during the end of the Israelites' 40 years of wandering. So the date is probably around 1405 through 1406 BC. BC. I always said that means before Christ, but is that real? Is that a real thing?
So, okay. Yes, and then it got switched to before Common Era, so BCE.
I still say before Christ.
Because that's what it is.
I do too.
I like that better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
History
you're right.
books, man.
Let's see. And then we'll go back to the reason. Like we were saying, Moses wrote to document the history of the Israelites' wanderings throughout the desert in order to show the new generation what not to do once they got to the promised land. So we see him repeat himself a lot because he's talking to different groups of people. So this is like he's talking to the next generation after their hard-headed parents have died.
Why couldn't they have read it?
Huh?
Why couldn't they have just read Genesis and Exodus?
I don't know. You know what I'm wondering? I wonder if he realized that they were really going to pass this stuff down. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if he realized it was going to be preserved like that. He was like, oh, I got to write it again for these people. And I feel like in Deuteronomy, it's like the next generation, like somebody else. Like, I don't know. But he was trying to make sure everybody knew. So the theme of this book is it shows what happens when Israel wanders away from God's plan. And in this book, they do it a lot. This is one of my most favorite books actually in the Bible. When I think about it, I made a list of my favorite books in the Bible once. And Numbers is it because there's a lot of spiciness from the Lord, and I love it.
Oh yeah,
he's real petty and he's real spicy.
Yes. And God saw our attitude on multiple occasions,
bruh. Like, we're gonna get to it, but the way he made them eat that quail, I laughed. Oh, yeah. I laughed.
Until you can't eat no more.
It's coming out your nostrils. You want it? You got it.
Got it. Yikes. Eat it.
Oh my gosh. So where should we start? Because we can go anywhere from 1 to chapter 28, but where do you guys want to start?
So I don't have notes until chapter 10. So if anyone has notes before chapter 10,
Okay, I do have well, husband, didn't you have a question about the Nazarite vow? That's in number 6.
Yeah, I just was wondering, like, they say what they are, but like I don't know if y'all knew like their purpose or like what they actually did and stuff like that.
Ooh,
I never even heard of them until now. But like
really?
yeah, there's a lot of stuff that until now that I've started reading the Bible in
Mm.
chronological order, I didn't know a lot.
I know, isn't it so amazing?
It is. It's
Let
great.
me see
It's great.
if I can find something just really randomly
One of I
quick.
said Samson was a
yeah.
Yes, Samson was one.
I did
feel
think
like
of that because he never cut his hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did think of that.
And then but people forget because Samson was a Nazarite, but he was drinking and stuff, so he was breaking the vow. Yeah, he wasn't being the right kind of Nazarite.
Mm-hmm.
And then when is that in Judges? We'll get to him, but he didn't even get his strength back till he basically said sorry, and then God was like, okay, but you got to die too. I was trying to see if I could find something random about in the commentary real quick, who they really are or why.
Because we know Samson was a Nazarite, but I just looked it up to confirm because I remember reading about Hannah and how like when she was like praying in the temple to have a son, after she had Samuel, she took Samuel back and like dedicated him to the work of the Lord. But the special part about that was that he was already supposed to be a Nazarite. So, but the Nazarite, I guess the calling of being a Nazarite is only for a certain amount of years. But because she took the extra step to like dedicate Samuel more, or rather dedicate his whole life, then like after his Nazarite service was done, he was still dedicated to the Lord's work. But he was already supposed to be a Nazarite.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything about why they were supposed to. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. But I did think it was interesting that it could be a man or a woman. I want to find a woman example, but I have to do my research. But that was interesting. Because a lot of times it's only men that can be certain things. So I thought that was pretty interesting. They cannot drink wine or beer. They can't even drink vinegar made from wine or beer.
They can't even touch grapes.
Yeah, they can't even
touch raisins.
They can't touch nothing.
Nothing that
comes off a vine. Yeah, nothing that comes off a vine.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like, oh, don't even think you about to taste one.
I think it was something about like super self-denial of like your flesh. But I do.
They can't touch dead bodies. Like they're basically vegetarian. They can't consume anything that has died.
Now I'm super interested on like what's their purpose though. I have to look that up. But I'm not gonna go into a tangent right now. I'm gonna look it up though. Okay. Well, we don't have much else about that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting? They can't cut their hair until a certain time, and then they have to shave their head in front of the tent of meeting when it's time.
Oh yeah, I remember that because I was like, wait, y'all grow all your hair out and then you just shave it bald?
Yeah. I guess once they're like, how long is it?
Is it at the end of their service they have to shave it?
Yeah, but now I can't find the part where it says how long it is. But it says on the day his time of consecration is completed, he is to be brought to the entrance of the tent of meeting. He is to present his offering. And then I'm just imagining him shaving his head in front of the tent.
Yeah.
Because that's when it's over, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's like a Nazarite between 25, 55 or something like that.
Yeah. Also,
where are they shaving their head?
Nazarite.
Who
was a Nazarite?
John the Baptist.
He was.
That's why he was eating all locust and honey. Like that's literally that was why.
Yeah.
Because he can't eat nothing else.
But he took it seriously.
He did. Like you can't like he ate like berries and like, vegetables.
No grapes.
Yeah. So is a Nazarite like even more not dedicated. I don't want to say dedicated to the Levite because they're pretty dedicated, but it's like on another level of like, I belong to God and I cannot do anything that is, I don't know, like
I feel
not.
like we don't know like their ongoing purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
we
we
don't
don't know
know.
what when you become a Nazarite, you do this. We don't really know that, but Levites, we know like, oh,
They,
y'all in the priest, y'all with the
yeah.
tabernacle. So like,
Yeah.
I feel like they probably could be more dedicated because it's more so also like you become one, don't you? You don't like you're not born into a clan and then you become a Nazarite because
Yeah,
you're
it
born
seems
into a
like
clan.
they're randomly chosen by
Yeah,
like from anybody.
Samuel was born a Nazarite.
But why?
that's what I'm saying.
Because of his
I think it was
mom?
yeah. Yeah, I think. Because
Because
the
of
way
the
that it was talking, like the way that it kind of explains it is that like, um, is that he was already dedicated to the Lord.
but
So
isn't it because she was praying to God for a son and she said, I will give this child to you if you give it to me?
maybe,
It could be about the dedication situation.
maybe,
We gotta look more into that. We gotta put
yeah,
a
Yeah,
pin
because
in that
it says
and
take
come
the
back.
special vow of a Nazarite. So I feel like if you're taking the vow, then that means you're deciding to become one. But I feel like you like for him, he was dedicated by somebody else.
Yeah, he was dedicated, but he didn't really have a choice because his mom was like, "Look, I prayed for you, and I had to give you back, and that's
yeah.
that. That's how it goes."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. To be continued because we got to look more into Nazarites. But when I was typing Nazarites into Google, it like auto corrected as Nazareth, and I was like,
Mm.
mm.
I was like,
Mm.
Mm.
Nazareth. Mm.
Nazareth,
because
according.
it's to be like set
Set
apart.
apart.
Aha.
Nazareth.
Take the
people.
special vow of a Nazarite, setting themselves apart to the Lord in a special way.
Interesting. Huh.
Not sure if there's a connection.
But Jesus definitely drank some wine, didn't he?
He turned water into
That's what
wine.
I'm
He
saying. He
wasn't a
definitely
Nazarite.
he was definitely
but
enjoying
he
that
was
wine.
Jesus of Nazareth.
No,
Yeah. Jesus
Yeah.
liked wine. And you know who else likes wine? God.
Yes.
Because people bring drink offerings of wine and beer
Yes.
to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
It's
I
a
thought about
pleasing
that.
aroma to the Lord.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
He
God be
doesn't, so
fucking up.
yeah, so God likes to drink a little drinky drink too. I hope that's
Mhm.
not blasphemy. Um
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I mean, when I read that, I was like, "Wow,
Oh
I got
yeah.
to bring a wine offering to the
Almost
Lord."
I know for a certain one of them books, like you bring a drink or a liquid offering for every offering.
Everything.
Every offering, I need a drink with it.
Yeah.
I gotta wash it down every
Hold up.
time.
Hold up. Every time.
Oh my
Give me
god,
the seeds and give me the drink every time.
Hold
I
up.
can't.
Yeah.
I cannot.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's the Nazarites, I guess.
Mhm.
Yes. After that, since you say you don't have anything till chapter 10, I
Yeah.
did have in chapter 9. It was just a random thing that caught my attention about the cloud and the fire that guided them by day and night.
Mhm.
So let me see. What did I write down? Let me pull my notes here. Okay. I have written down here that God originally blessed the tabernacle by showing his presence in the form of a cloud by day and a fire by night. And the cloud of God's glory was evident at different times in Israel's history. So this is how God like shows up.
Mhm.
You know what it made me think about? And I'm gonna do a video on this, I think on Wednesday. But how you know how people say now, they say, well, why doesn't God just show up and show us who he is? And I'm
Mhm.
like, he already did that. It didn't work. Like, it didn't work. This guy
You're not
literally
lying.
was with them all the time, either in a cloud or in fire. So during the day he was a cloud, shielding them from the heat of the desert in the wilderness, providing shelter, at night providing light for them, some comfort. And these people they still didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Mhm.
So why should God continue to show himself to you fools when
Mhm.
it's not gonna work? No
He
one
has
has
wisdom.
time.
He's not insane.
Yes, and then I wrote down oh, there's a few other times when the cloud shows up in
Mhm.
1 Kings 8:10 through 11. When Solomon built the temple, the cloud filled the temple.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but when Israel apostatized, and before the temple was destroyed,
Uh-huh.
the cloud left. How
Mhm.
sad. And then
God
it
was like,
said, I ain't got time. I'm out.
That's
God
true.
sparingly appeals to our physical senses with the emblems of his glory because, I mean, who has time for y'all? And basically, like, if we keep, think about how sad they were when he left. I would have been depressed, devastated,
oh yeah.
devastated.
It's like, wait, no, come back. Don't leave
Yes,
me.
like, please
Don't
come
leave
back.
me.
Um, Fun
But then it's
fact.
like, and then Jesus was like, that I guess when people were asking, like, well, why don't you just show all your miracles or whatever, and so that people believe? And it's like, you believe me because you see me, but blessed are those who believe and do not see.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, there's
takes another
more,
level of faith.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's more
Mhm.
in the not seeing that.
I
Mhm.
know. Because you don't have to see everything. Like, I feel like
Oh yeah.
there are things I believe in that I cannot see because of things that I have experienced. And it's just
Right.
like, when you're like just changed, you can't even explain it to people. You're just like, I didn't mean to change like this. Somehow
Mhm.
I am another person though. And I'm
Mhm.
better than I used to be for the most part.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why. And I didn't mean to. It just happened. I
Yeah.
can't even go
Yeah.
back, you know? But
Facts.
Some
that
people
was
see things and they don't. Some people see stuff and still don't believe.
That's very true.
that's
Islam
true.
being one of them.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. They'll try to logic their way out of what they just
Yes.
saw.
I'm like,
And no.
you just saw he see you, you see him. You saw that.
You saw all of it, but you still like.
They
Mm.
stubborn.
Yeah.
They stubborn.
My, but
They're
y'all
like the
gonna-
Israelites.
They stubborn, like someone we know who we'll talk about later.
Oh yeah.
But also, when I read this, I tried to like, what do y'all envision a pillar of fire looks like? Because I didn't know, so I looked it up on Google, and I was like, that's probably what it looked like. Yeah.
What did you look up? You Googled it? Let me Google it.
Mhm.
I don't know why. I probably just imagined it how it looked like in the Prince of Egypt.
Yeah.
That's just how
Like a big
like a
shadow thing
tornado
with
of fire.
Yeah,
Like
that's
a
what it showed.
like a tornado of fire. But what about the cloud? Because something I read
I think
was
it was the
like,
same, but it was a cloud. Can y'all see it? Yeah.
oh, I see it. I
Yeah.
see it.
Trying to get the glare off of it, but it's not working.
There you go.
Do you think it was hot?
Probably not. But he made a burning bush have no
Yeah.
smoke.
Yeah, maybe not. Oh, look, there's another picture I found. Can y'all see that? It's a pillar. Oh wait. Pillar of a cloud and a pillar of fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about That's what I think.
Before I looked it up, I was kind of thinking it was like this. You know how in like movies when there's like a dark cloud or dark like shadow creature that kind of like moves, and then like it has like it's like it almost has a head, and then
I
the cloud
thought
is its
about it
body.
moving too. I didn't think about it having a head, but I thought about how it can like when I think about like him entering the tent or like
Mhm.
enveloping the tent, I think about like that it's not always a pillar. Like he's just like it's like
He's-
just the
yeah, he's
spirit
mobile.
around
Yeah.
him.
like Mufasa in Lion King.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of envision.
Mm.
Like when he came out, he was like, "Remember who you are," type deal.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah,
who you are.
yeah. So I was kind of
Yeah.
thinking of something like that.
Yeah, but I just thought that was interesting because I'm like, literally, God's presence is all around you in different forms. It's leading you. They couldn't even go. They were literally being led to the promised land. They didn't know where they were going,
At all.
and they went. And when
all.
the thing stopped, when the pillar stopped, they stopped. They set up camp. If
I
it
was like,
got
how
up and
y'all-
left, they left.
But I'm saying, how y'all have faith for that? right? You have no idea where you're going.
Right.
Like God is leading you to places that isn't always comfortable. Like you're literally just following God
Right.
blindly. Well,
Yeah.
by faith. How do you have faith to do that? But every time y'all are hungry, it's like, oh my God, I should have stayed at Egypt.
Do you think that they had belief, or do you think that they just got scared every time he like spanked them real quick and then they repented and then they went back to their ways? Because when you complain against God and then he burns up all the fields, you might say sorry real quick because you believe that, you believe you saw that, you got burnt up, there's something biting you, there's plagues, but you really don't trust him, really. You really don't believe him, really. You just are scared.
Yeah.
So on this topic, this is the reason why she wanted me to come on here. Because
so
I had read it and I was thinking, I can't remember what specific chapter there was, but there was a specific chapter where like they did it like back to back, right? And they were like, why did you bring us out of Egypt? You just brought us out here to die. And then so God gets angry. Plague, right? Plague. Boom. Then what happens? Oh my God, Moses, help us. We don't want to die. Please rescue us. And I was like, my immediate thought when I was reading this today, I was like, boy, they sound like Pharaoh. And then I was like, they don't have their own relationship with their God right now. So they're making themselves look like their old God in Pharaoh. So all they do is complain, or they're stubborn in their ways, right? Like Pharaoh's stubborn, so they're deciding to be stubborn. And it's like, I don't look like the God that I'm supposed to look like, so I want to look like the old one that I had. I want to go back to Egypt.
Oh
right?
yeah.
I want to look like that. That's what I remember. That's what I like. That's what I know. And so I want to look like that. So then you see, okay, boom, stubbornness. Okay, plague, boom. You shouldn't be asking for me to get out of this plague if you decided to do what you did to get into it. And what does Pharaoh do? All right, Moses, just tell him to take this away from me. Tell him to take this away from me. And then that's what the children of Israel do. Moses, tell him to take this away from me. And then, okay, Moses goes and intercedes for you, but you don't learn any lesson.
Nothing. Not one.
You literally are mirroring the old place you were in. And so, like, it kind of makes sense. Like, all of them were going to have to die off, and it was going to have to be a completely new set of children of people that went into the promised land, because it's like you don't even really want this promised land. You're not representing me the way you should. You're representing the old you, and I'm telling you, I brought you from that old you. You're a new you through me.
Ooh,
if you don't want to be a new you can't have this promise. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, it was like I was like, boy, they definitely sound like Pharaoh.
Wow, I've never thought about that, but you're totally right. And the stubbornness, right on point.
And Moses, help us.
Yeah.
All right, I got you, Lord. Listen, they crying. All right, cool. Plague stops. 2 minutes later, man, why are we out here?
Yeah, it frustrates me.
Yes, you literally get frustrated. And it's just like, why are y'all doing this when this isn't who y'all are? This isn't the God that y'all serve. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? And like we were just saying before, all this stuff you've seen and you still decide not to believe in him for this. Yeah. But y'all, you know what I mean? So yeah, no, that for me was just like, she got it super excited when I was telling her. It was like, because literally they're not representing God. Like, they're representing Pharaoh. That's literally who they're mirroring. They're mirroring him, and they're not mirroring images of their God. So I was like,
do you think they were still just too stuck in their Egyptian ways? Because this is still some of the generation, I'm thinking, that came out of Egypt, and like, because like their kids, they're only really seeing God. They don't know much about him.
But I think it's because they don't have their own relationship.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were scared to have, like, if you know, like, even Aaron had his things, but like Caleb and Joshua, they didn't never think like that. They knew who their God was. They intended to try to know who their God was. A lot of them was like, okay, yes, he got us out of here, but it don't look like how we feel it should look like. And so, like, if you don't know the God you're serving, you will always have that doubt. You will always have that.
Ooh, yes.
I don't know what's happening. I don't really know. I don't know the plan. I don't know if I'm going to make it. But like Moses, he knew who he was serving. Aaron, he knew who he was serving. Joshua and Caleb knew who they were serving. So it's like, okay, like it may not look the best, but I know we're going to be fine. Like he got us out of that place. He's going to get us to the place that he promised us. And so like, I think because they were having the mediation, their mediator was Moses. That's also why, like, if you really think about it, like his beard and his hair, everything turning white, so much that should be spread across all the people is going through one man. You know what I mean? So it's like, and at this point, because there's so much that is going against God, it's like I can't even give my holiness to y'all. Like I really just have to give it to Moses. I really can only trust Moses. And so it's just like, that's why you see Moses is like one of the top people that's really like was really blessed and like spiritual in the Bible, because like the amount of people he was accounting for,
a lot.
Because when we get to that chapter, it was probably about 2 million of them people out there.
Yeah, because they were really only counting the men. They never counted like women and children.
You always got to account for that in the Bible because they only count the men. So
and it's a lot of men.
600, almost 700. If you do a 1-to-1 ratio,
yeah. And sometimes they only count the fighting men, so that's not even the old men.
I was going to say
it's only the fighting men who are like ready to carry the sword,
go to war, right?
Yeah. Then it was like, and the people who died from the plague were like 26,000. It's like, wait.
A lot.
So many
6,000.
That's like a lot.
That's a lot.
But it really is like what 26,000 is probably like 3% of their population.
Basically, for them to not feel that 26,000, not 2,600, 26,000.
Nah, they felt it. They just didn't learn their lesson. But I like what you're saying. It's all about the relationship. That's even true for us today. It's all about the relationship you have with God. If you don't really have that relationship, like you said, I love how you were like, you can't trust God if you don't know him. And that's understandable. You don't trust anybody you don't really know.
Exactly.
How can you? It's impossible to build trust, to just be like, oh, I believe you, God, and you don't even know who God is. Like, that makes no sense.
God was so, he was, in a way, he was like almost so patient with it that he showed his glory
multiple times
for like, if you don't even have a relation, if you're too scared or you don't even want to have a relationship with me one-on-one, I'm going to show you who I am so that you can have trust and belief that because I've done this, same God back then, same God right now, tie tribute, you know what I mean? If you did it before, he'll do it again.
Yeah.
We believe in that. You know
that's
what
logical.
I mean?
That's just logical.
Exactly. That's logical. But
if he did it before, he'll do it again.
Right. So like,
wait till we get to these people in that later.
Because
I'm gonna go in on them when they ain't want to go into Canaan. Lord Jesus. Anyway. Do we want to move on to Numbers 10? I did have that written down. I think about the trumpet. That's when the trumpets. I thought that was pretty interesting.
We were talking about it before coming on, and it was like when you like you said in the last episode, numbers is probably because it was like a census, and they're like you see how many people there actually was, and like 600 something thousand of just the fighting men. Then when you multiply that probably times 3, at least 3. Because you don't know how many wives, how many kids, how many slaves for every person that's there. They're probably saying they're probably north of 2 million people.
I think so. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like the trumpets, they're using this to say we're about to move and stuff. How you moving 2 million people at a time? That's literally like a whole city.
That's like that's just a walking traffic jam.
It's literally like,
well, they left separately, right? Like they had like a system. Like, okay, when we blow the trumpet,
but I feel like they were like sometimes the cloud would be there for a night, and then if the cloud moved after a night, they gotta move. The people in the back ain't got there yet.
I know. Can you imagine? And then they had to set up the tabernacle, all like prestigious and stuff. It's like, oh no, I'm ready to go. Let's go again. Like, God.
How big was this tabernacle? Because when they were like, I might be jumping ahead, but they had like 2 men in each clan, and every clan had a certain thing for the tabernacle. It was huge like that.
It's big, yeah. It's pretty big. It's a big, huge tent.
There's like 4 coverings alone.
Yeah.
That one. I was remembering the feet and stuff. Maybe I wasn't picturing it all together.
It's big.
It's pretty big.
There were like 2,000 people for this clan, and y'all do this, and then another 2,000, and then y'all do this.
Man,
are y'all rotating?
No, the last clans be walking up to the new place, and then the cloud move and be like, "Well, I guess I'll be walking until morning."
They walk to the new place. The cloud ain't even there no more.
He's like, I guess I'm still walking.
See, that's why they were frustrated. But it goes again to they just don't know who he is. But even now, I could relate to now. Like, if I'm trying to walk with the Lord and he keep moving, and I'm like, bruh, I'm trying to walk.
I'm trying to catch up.
I'm trying to walk with you, but you keep moving. I'm trying to, But one of my pastors at church always says this: like, you got to trust him even when you can't track him. And that's what I would have to say to myself, because it can be frustrating. I'm not. We are human, and I can imagine them being in the desert, like, man, what? Like, there's all these new rules for us. We walking a lot. All we eating is this manna. I'm jumping ahead, but
they eat no manna. That's it.
They was done with them crispy wafers.
Completely done. Them little oyster crackers. They's done. Lord. Okay.
They were so done. They said, "I don't want it. I don't. I do not want it."
To imagine, I'm jumping ahead. We gonna get there, but to imagine, they were fed up before the 40 years of Romans.
Yeah,
fed up year one.
They were fed up like year two, and they was like, "We tired of this. All right, bet I'm gonna give y'all stuff, but y'all done got on my nerves now. 40 years. How about that?"
Yeah.
So they were really shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, really they were, because they could have got out of it sooner, but like you said, they kept complaining, they kept doing this and that. They weren't ready for the land, because it's like, this land belongs to you, or I'm giving it to you, but there's people here. The land ain't empty.
Right.
Like, it's people here, the people big, and I need to know again how much you trust me. Because there's giants and what was it, Nephilim? There was descendants of Nephilim, or at least in the land. They big and scary looking. And so
Joshua said, "And we're grasshoppers to them."
But Joshua was ready to go though.
Wait, was it?
No, it wasn't Joshua.
No, it was the other spies.
I'm about to say Joshua and Caleb were ready to go. They said,
were ready,
"We
like,
take
this
them."
place is popping.
Right,
they were ready to go.
You see
this big old grape cluster we don't find on the tree.
They were ready to go. I love Joshua. I cannot wait to read Joshua. I'm glad he got appointed.
Yes.
To succeed Moses. Yes. Side note, didn't you think it was so cool? Well, no, you know what? I'm gonna save it for after, because I feel like after the rock part, because are we gonna get to Moses is gonna die? He hasn't died yet, but it's proclaimed he's gonna die.
He dies.
Yeah. But that's like probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I just loved how when he was about to die, he didn't try to like
he didn't reason.
He didn't try to like go to God and be like, "Nah, let me in the promised land." He was just like, "You know what, Lord, that's cool, but please give them a good leader to help them out, because these people are crazy and they need like, I don't want them to be like sheep without a shepherd." I was like, Moses really was like, give me that type of heart, man. Yeah. He's not selfish at all. He used to get mad though. He got angry. He had an anger problem.
He was like the Lord. He was like the Lord.
Yeah, but I too have an anger problem, so I understand. I'm working on it. But are we still talking about the trumpets? What else do we have about the trumpets?
So not gonna lie, when I read this, I was like, wow, finally something that like applies to my life. Now, like as we've been reading like Exodus and like, Leviticus, after reading Leviticus, I was like, okay, how can I use this? Like, how does it apply to my life? It was a little harder to like find a personal connection. And then we get into Numbers and I'm like, finally personal connection again. And so like basically I guess I'll set it up as like now as they're heading towards the promised land, all like the Israelites are now like the nation of Israel, right? So like they have the laws, they have traditions, they have rules and regulations, they have stations, like they have purpose, right? So they're an organized group of people, and they're fully prepared for the promised land now because they're an actual nation. Like they're not just like a mob of people coming from Egypt, right? Like they were before. And it's like they've been cleansed and purified. They've been taught how to give and function as priests. They've been given God's presence as a guide, and like they follow that guide. And so you would think that like with all this extensive preparation that they had to become this organized group and to like enter into the promised land, you would think that entering the promised land would be easy because they've done all of this stuff up until now. And so for me, I was starting to feel like I had prepared for the season that I'm currently in, but it didn't feel like I prepared enough. I was like, well, maybe I missed it. Like maybe I didn't prepare enough. Like this is harder than I expected. Like aren't you supposed to like train harder than the game? Like I feel like now I'm in the middle of it and I don't have any of the tools needed. And the thing is like I literally said, with such extensive preparation, you'd think entering the promised land would be easy, but preparation is just preparation. They are going to face the greatest challenges that can only be met by faith. There's still a battle.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay. I guess I fight some more days. I guess I'll fight another day.
You will.
Because, bro, it can get really tiring. And, like, I can understand their frustration from a human standpoint. Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't have a pillar, a cloud, and a pillar of fire guiding me from one place to another. I don't have, like, yes, I have a personal relationship with God. But, like, the signs that I have that God gives me aren't as blatant. And so I'm, like, I'm trying to make sure that this is God's pillar of fire. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to make sure that the decision that I feel like I need to make is actually God moving from one place to another and not just me wanting to be somewhere else that I'm not, or not me just being hungry for something that I don't have, or, you know, like I'm trying to maneuver through all of this stuff, and they had God right there.
I know.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. The only part of faith they needed was the hope.
Honestly,
because they could see everything.
They could see like, literally everything.
You can see everything. Just hope he's gonna get you there.
Yeah.
We on this side, we like, he invisible.
Like, I got the hope, but I don't see jack, man.
I know. Sometimes I feel, I don't know if the word is jealous, but I'm like, dang. I always wonder, I'm like, how could they not have it together when I feel like they had like more than us. But then I'm like, you know what? Maybe since we're just in a sin nature, you just can never get your life together.
I feel like we have they had all the rules, and it was basically flesh against flesh. For us, since we have the Holy Spirit, it's spirit against flesh. And the spirit is if you allow it to be, the spirit is way stronger than your flesh, right? So
yeah.
Like, if you just operate in spirit, you're probably going to be good to go. But for them, because Jesus hadn't came yet and given that gift, like, they had so many rules just to keep them holy, ceremonially clean. And it was like their flesh working against their flesh. So a lot of the times for like us now, it'll be once we get into that spiritual, once we start to grow spiritually and get more mature, it's like our spirit is fighting against everything that we thought was true because of how we lived and how our flesh well-being was all the time. And then, but for us, it's like, okay, like I can just tap into my spirit side and let that fight the old fleshful stuff that I kept doing over and over. Because then it was like all the stuff I kept doing over and over fleshly, I have to fight that with my flesh. And it's like you're almost probably going to lose the battle over and over unless you continually stay with God. Like, you continue to look and be like, okay, God's right there. God's right there. Let me not like.
So this is the thing. We do technically then have a pillar of fire and a cloud. It's the Holy Spirit. We just got to be paying attention.
Yes.
Exactly.
So we don't need to be jealous. We have it.
Yeah,
it's just not in our face.
It's in us, right. Really.
It's pretty like, cool, but it's in us.
Yeah. Honestly, it's closer to your heart.
Yeah,
so they want to let it. Yeah.
which is better.
So
Hey,
it was
that was
tough for
good.
them. I feel them, but like I don't know.
Man.
I don't know. It felt like it shouldn't have been that hard because she just
They
poor
just had
child.
hard. They just had hard hearts, I think, and
Yeah,
then
I want to see
it's
a
just
sea open up and split in half and me walk through it.
And I'm
me
not even
too.
lying.
That would be so fire.
So like I know like I will rip the Israelites a new one on a regular basis, but like I was just thinking like they have Stockholm syndrome for one.
Mm-hmm.
They fell in love with their captor,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and the trauma of being taken captive for so long and seeing multiple members of your family being enslaved and knowing that that's what your fate is, like that's a very traumatic state of being. And like I've been thinking about this because I've been thinking about writing a memoir for everyone. And so when it comes to like how I see God or how I saw God through trauma, changed, like the trauma changed how I saw God. So it's like as much as I wanted to be like, yeah, he's got me, I'm like, but where were you? So for them it's almost like they continue to have trust issues with God because it's like, yeah, you came through then, but like where were you when I was in
For the
captivity?
400 years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like where were you then when now you're like, oh well, I'm gonna send you this place and I'm gonna bring you this place and I'm gonna provide for you here. And it's like, oh well, I'm hungry again. Is this gonna be Egypt time again? Or is this gonna be like the last time he blessed me? Like I don't really know.
You're letting that situation explain who God is instead of letting God explain why that situation is that situation.
Yes.
And you trying to put time on God when time don't even like exist to God. Like 400 years was like 40 minutes to him. He was like, oh.
And he was like, for every day that you complained, you get a year.
Basically. Yep.
Yikes. Oh my gosh.
Like that's the
gosh.
worst grounding. Like, imagine if your parent was like, for every time that you called my name while I was busy, you got a week.
You got a week.
I feel like my mom used to punish me like that. Not like a week, but she would do stuff like for every this, you get this type thing. Like, oh, you lied 2 times, that's 2 whoopings. I feel like I mean, she reads her Bible a lot, but I feel like, yeah, that's how she kind of was a little bit.
That's that belt math right there.
Yeah, I would get a spanking for everything, like for what you did and for lying about it. If you lied about it, that's 2 separate whoopings.
That's fair. Okay, that's understandable. That's understandable.
Yeah, but if you lied twice, you probably gonna get another one. It's not all at the same time. She gonna break it up. One day she, and then the next day you think she forgot. Oh, come in here, lay on the bed.
They always make it. I think they do that on purpose.
No, she they do it on purpose. You don't want to get 3 whoopings in a night.
That's true, but I feel like they make you think that they forgot. I think that's what they do.
Yeah, because they being nice to you, but it's because they still love you.
Exactly.
It's true, but I don't
trying
care.
To make you think they forgot. It's just they're gonna go about their.
They can't help but love you anyway,
you and caring about you.
Oh,
but you still getting this whooping.
You still gonna get this whooping.
That's how God is with us.
That's true.
This whooping. But I love you.
Get it.
But you feel betrayed. But you feel like you betrayed yourself. You feel like they betrayed you. Like, why did I even let myself think
why
that
did I
forgot?
think this? Why did I think
never forget. You go, and if they let you off the hook, like a few days go by, then they probably let you off the hook. But just know it's because they didn't forget though. They just gave you grace.
Yeah.
They did not forget.
Well, I didn't have
unless you got old parents that might forget. But let me see. I want to keep it moving because you know us. We'll go and then we won't have we can't go past 2 hours because then we won't have video.
Okay.
So
what are we at?
I always have to reel us back in. What should we really talk about? Because I know we have a lot of intercessory prayer. Because I know we got Korah, we got the waters from the rock, we got Miriam and Aaron. Huh?
I kind of want to talk about Korah because Korah comes up, or the spirit of Korah comes up in the New Testament, and I think it's in Hebrews, but I'm gonna look it up.
I think it is in Hebrews. I wonder if I have the note. I don't know if I do. It's in Hebrews though. I think you had a note on it in the.
I did, but I didn't write down what the what the verse was. So if you could find that, babe, while I'm talking.
For what?
For the Korah's rebellion, but like
They were
in the New
they
Testament.
was wilding. Are
They
we
was big,
are we
big
still
wild.
in meat or are we in intercessory prayer?
No, we're I'm because I want to mention the meat of Korah.
Oh,
Talking
okay.
about
Yeah, we're still in
the-
meat, right? Because we gotta
the-
mention the Jesus part. We got I got for sure one Jesus part.
Oh, it's in Jude.
Yeah, that's what
Oh, you're right. It is in
Okay.
Jude.
That's
The
what it
very
was.
short book of Jude.
Okay, so it's Jude 1 because there's only one chapter of Jude. Yeah,
Yes.
Australia.
It's like one page.
It's Australia.
right. It's
country
this
and a
one.
continent.
But it's verse 11, and this is in the New International Version. Let me find the NLT. It's in the New Living Translation because that's what I read from. It says, "What sorrow awaits them? For they follow in the footsteps of Cain, who killed his brother. Like Balaam, they deceived people for money, and like Korah, they perish in their rebellion." And so, actually, let me read the verse before that
Like who?
because Balaam.
The one that we read about in this?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, he turned bad?
The reason why God was upset with him for going
Okay, I
is because
figured
he was
that.
trying to.
Yeah, he was trying to get that money.
Yeah.
Trying to be a prophet for hire.
Yeah.
Was it okay? It was a little bit. Get off track real quick. It was a little bit weird to me when the donkey started talking to him. He just started talking back.
He was
like,
not phased.
talking.
Facts. He was mad.
He was not phased at all. And I was
He
like,
didn't jump back or nothing.
he was like, "You keep going the wrong way. Go the
Well,
right way."
he's a prophet, so maybe he was just like, shoot, donkeys be talking sometimes.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair. Because I was so like, man is really just talking back like it's his kid. But anywho, yes, go ahead.
So this is talking about this is a warning of the like eternal fire of God's judgment. So people, the types of things that would attach themselves to people who are not believers, basically, because if you're a believer, you're going to heaven. But in verse 8 it says, "In the same way, these people who claim authority from their dreams live immoral lives, defy authority, and scoff at supernatural beings. But even Michael, one of the mightiest of the angels, did not dare accuse the devil of blasphemy, but simply said, 'The Lord rebuke you.' This took place when Michael was arguing with the devil about Moses' body." I want to know about that.
Me too.
But anywho.
Yeah, that's a random little thing they put in there. Yeah.
Right.
Did.
What you mean arguing by his body?
What you about to do with it?
I don't know.
Verse 10 says, "But these people scoff at things they do not understand. Like unthinking animals, they do whatever their instincts tell them, and so they bring about their own destruction. What sorrow awaits them? For they follow in the footsteps of Cain, who killed his brother. Like Balaam, they deceive people for money, and like Korah, they perish in their rebellion." And if you don't know anything about Balaam or Korah, you'll read it and be like, okay, like you know Cain killing his brother. You got that.
Everyone
But there's multiple like characteristics that are being brought out here based on these people. And because I've read this verse before and be like, okay, rebellion, Korah, rebellion, cool. Because I see rebellion, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I won't rebel against God, fine. But that's not what it is.
It's not, yeah.
So Korah, if you go back and read it in Numbers, I'm not going to belabor the time.
16.
Chapter 16. Basically, Korah's rebellion was less about him not wanting to do what Moses and Aaron and God told them to do. It was more about, I want what you have, even though I was not given it. So I'm going to go and take what I feel I deserve. And like the fact that Korah and the other leaders, I guess the people that was like backing him or whatever, in regards to who God chooses,
what makes you so special?
Yeah, so it was like, well, why not me?
Yeah,
I should be doing this, and God was like, nah, B, sorry.
Who said you anyway? Basically,
yeah.
So by him not only rejecting whom God has called, but going as far as to saying like, I deserve something that I'm not getting, so I should take it.
And that's not right.
That's not right. Like that's more than rebellion. Like that's division. That's a whole bunch of stuff that basically got them swallowed by the earth. So
yeah, and they're like not happy with the position God gave them. Like God
Yeah.
said, "You go do this," and you were like,
Because weren't they Levites?
"Nah, God, I don't want to do that."
They were
Levites?
leaders. They were lead. I
They
don't
were the
know.
They
leaders, huh?
did
They were just
something.
leaders.
They were in charge of something because they were a part of the Levites.
Yeah, they were important.
So they had some kind of, he gave each clan like a job, and
Yeah.
they decided they needed more responsibility. I just seemed like they were like very prideful, even though they tried to make it seem like, and Miriam and Aaron did that too. They tried to make it seem like Aaron was the problem. I mean, not Aaron. They try to seem like Moses was the
Yeah.
problem,
Mhm.
but you're the problem because you're not. We can relate that to our real life, probably. Like you're not happy with the position you're in, so you start doing stupid stuff because you're trying to be in a different position that's not made for you, and
Exactly.
then you end up getting swallowed by the earth.
Yeah, he said this is in verse 3. They united against Moses and Aaron and said, "You have gone too far. The whole community of Israel has been set apart by the Lord, and he is with all of us. What right do you have to act as though you are greater than the rest of the Lord's people?" So like he's making it seem like Moses is the one that's like, "I'll be over everyone.
Yeah,
I'll decide to what we do and what." And Moses
don't even want to be there.
He tired of y'all too.
He want to go. He's
like, if you want it, take it, bro. I don't.
Yeah,
he's like, I didn't even ask for this.
Whatever it was,
He
the
said,
metal
"Go get your
plates.
rod." Oh,
What was it?
was it the rods?
No, I wasn't a rod.
Man, Moses didn't want to go even back at the burning bush. He wanted to be in Midian with his sheep.
All the way back then.
Back then, he's like, I never even wanted this, bro. Like, you think I got a power trip? No, I'm the one been saving y'all fools because what they don't know.
They were Levites.
Yeah, they were Levites. What they don't understand is that Moses stopped God from destroying them like 2 or 3 times already because God was like, "Yo, Moses, I'll just restart through you. I'm done with them." Basically. Moses kept y'all alive. So if he had
control,
if he was on some type of power trip, he would have let him do it. He would never interceded for you. So like, you're wrong.
Task manager open, delete.
Yeah.
And that's not even including all the plagues that he was letting loose. Man. That's just I want to wipe them out and start over. Lord, hold on. Wait a minute now. Let's think about this, Lord.
Right.
Let's take a second. Breathe. Right.
Breathe.
Let's count some sheep, God. We got them on the altar. They right there.
There's a lot of sheep. Man.
A lot of sheep.
Speaking of sheep, this is a tangent, but I was thinking they were like literally sacrificing every day. So I'm like, how many sheep are being born a day for you to be able to sacrifice every day? Could you imagine if you paid your tithes every day?
And then every 7 days, and then every month, and then every couple of years? It's like, bro, what?
Right. That's what I thought about. Like, if you gave money to your church every day, like, where's the money coming from? Wait, what? Like, what? I gotta sacrifice every day a lamb, a goat.
They talk about it at the end. I was
a ram,
every day.
Like every day, man.
Is it like how big is it? Like, I guess it's like how big is one family? Is it per family? And like, I don't know. You having like 10, 12 people in one family, so it's like not as many as you would think for like if it was like 2 to 3 people per family.
It is a lot. And then like when they have certain festivals, it's even more.
Along with what you already supposed to do.
Yeah, like how many livestock? But that's just a random thought. But I don't want to go too deep.
That's a testament to how much they had too, if you really think
about it. Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
They didn't have no W-2s. Like they just kept growing stuff. Okay. Also, all these different like offerings that had like food involved.
Because God likes to eat.
Yeah, but I'm like,
he appreciates food.
I'm like, where they be growing this stuff at? Because
what food?
Like
because they keep moving. So how do they? Yeah,
they can't like something like first of the harvest type stuff, and like But I'm like, how do you do that when you're constantly moving?
But if you're 2 million people, I feel like if you move, you still cover quite a bit of land before. Like you got a couple of days before. The back.
Yeah, but how you grow something in a couple of days?
Right.
Because remember, wasn't there a point when it was like, Unless this was for future
I think
reference.
I think this was future when he was talking about.
Because remember, it was like, don't harvest everything, leave some in whatever year for the poor
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, it's like
But
so.
maybe
there's
that's
a
future
jubilee,
tense.
because there's a jubilee year. So like every 7 years, the seventh year for 7 years.
I think that's in the
don't
promised
plant.
land though.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
the
maybe.
promised land.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe these are rules for the promised land. We
Okay.
haven't got there yet. They're just trying to give them the rules so when you get to the promised land, you know how to act and
Gotcha.
don't be tripping when you get there.
Basically, act like you got some home training.
Act like you got
Yes,
some
please
sense.
act like you got some sense.
Um,
Yeah.
Do
Should
you
we
want to do
talk
the serpent
about?
first and then the striking of the rock, or flip?
Is the striking of the rock? Are we putting them in the last segment? Them because they did it wrong, or we?
Yeah, put him in the last segment.
Yeah.
I think that'd be best.
Okay. Well, let's just touch on the bronze serpent really quick because that is the part where I found Jesus because Jesus actually said he was like the bronze serpent.
Oh,
I forgot
is.
what
Yeah.
chapter, what book that was in.
Uh,
When he said it. Oh, I think it's in John 3. It's in John 3, 14 and 15, I think.
Yeah, because it's around. It's around.
It-
Like he says it to Nicodemus, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think I'm correct.
Yeah.
I think so. Okay, I have some notes on the bronze serpent.
Bro, we know our Bible, y'all.
Yes,
Oh,
we are scholars.
I don't know nothing.
In the
I am
making.
not.
I don't know
We're
nothing.
scholars in the making.
Wiggy just
Future
be-
scholars.
You be saying you got a library in your head. And you
Who,
just-
me?
Yes, you be saying all the. She's pretty good at it too, but you be making her look like she don't really be knowing for real.
That is not real because
And
she.
it's so cool.
No, it's fire. Like I'm
'Cause
serious.
like, finally,
Really?
someone else.
Yes, I don't. So like for us, like she was always the one that would quote scripture and know where it came from. I could tell you a bunch of scripture, but I can't quote nothing.
Yeah.
And then you come and you be like quoting this, quoting that, be like, this relates to this goes over here, these two connect, and she be like, this is why we are. This is what I strive to be for real.
Wow, that's so amazing because I don't know. I just be reading
You just be
stuff.
there. You just be there.
I just be like, writing stuff down.
Mhm.
I probably remember because I read it today, but it is John 3, 14 and 15. But you know why I remembered it? Because I was like, oh, that's right before John 3:16. That's just how my brain works.
Yeah, that's how I knew it was Nicodemus, because he told that to
Yeah.
Nicodemus. That's how I knew.
Oh,
Yeah.
because 316
Yeah.
is when you're talking to Nicodemus.
Yeah, when he talks about John 3:16 is like the most famous one, like for God so loved the world. But you don't realize that before that he basically says that he is the bronze serpent.
Serpent. Okay, all right. I'm trying to find
think
it.
so.
I'm trying to find what chapters.
Have y'all seen the episode of The Chosen
We've seen all of them.
Multiple times.
where they
All of them.
like I would have never thought that. I don't know if it really looked like that in real life, but then they put the bronze serpent on a cross.
Yeah,
It like I was like,
it's on a cross.
So, yeah.
Probably did.
Because that would make sense though.
'Cause he was like, it was
how
on a
else do you hold
pole.
it up
exactly. How else
if
do you hold
there's
it
no
up?
cross section?
Mhm.
Exactly.
That makes
you gotta
total
do
sense.
to be healed is believe.
Is
Yes.
look
So
Look at it.
and believe.
you better believe not just
Gotta
look.
look.
So the bronze serpent, a little background. This is another case where the Israelites they're not doing what they're supposed to do. I feel like they try to rise up again. They was getting discouraged. Oh, because they couldn't basically they're Israel's brothers people, the Edomites, that's Esau's people. They didn't want to let them through. So Israel got discouraged again because now they got to walk back, try to get to Canaan. They got to walk around another way. So they start tripping again. They start complaining against the Lord again. Lord, help them. So God sends fiery serpents among the people. Why are they called fiery? I don't know. The commentary says either that they were red or because of the fiery sensation felt when the people were bitten.
Okay.
We'll never know. So the victims of these bites were probably most of that older generation that had that unbelief, not that younger generation. The younger generation loved God, apparently. So this was God's way of fulfilling his promise that, hey, y'all fools, y'all not seeing that promised land. I'm going to kill you before you get there. Don't worry. Don't think it's not happening. Don't think I'm the parent that forgot about your whooping. It's happening.
Shaw didn't
Oh my
forget.
gosh.
I didn't forget about the whooping.
They
So
were
they're
so
getting
close.
bit.
They were.
They were
Gosh.
really close.
They were.
And
They
it
were.
was a lot of people who died. I want to
Okay.
say, off the top of my head, it was like, was it
Like-
another 27,000 or something? It
I
was a
thought
lot
it
of
was about
people.
30.
Getting
Yeah, I
bit.
thought it was about 30, something like that. Close to
They
30.
were getting bit, but then now, of course, they're running back to Moses. They're like, Moses, please help us. Please help us, please. And Moses is like, Lord, how am I supposed to help these people? Because I'm really tired of them. And God's like, you know what? I got a way. Make this bronze serpent and then hang it on a pole, and whoever looks at the serpent will be saved. Now, how does this refer to our Lord Jesus? Okay,
Come on
so it was
now.
made. It was made with bronze. Bronze is a metal. I think Vic said this in another episode. I want to say the Tabernacle episode, that bronze is a metal associated with judgment, and bronze is made by passing through the fire.
Yep.
So the bronze serpent, most people, would associate a serpent with evil. Most Christians would too. They're like, how can Jesus be a serpent? But the bronze serpent, it speaks of evil, but the evil being judged, not necessarily evil in itself. So Jesus says, this is how we refer back to Jesus. Jesus says in John 3:14-15, I don't know if this is an exact quote. I don't think it is. I'm paraphrasing. Wait, where is it? Dang. Oh no, I don't have it written down. But all those who look at it will be saved. Do we have John 3:14 anywhere? Does anybody
I
have
can
it?
definitely look it up.
Let's read what John 3:14-15 says, and how Jesus says that he is like the bronze serpent. I want to say that he says he will be just like the bronze serpent was lifted up, so will be the Son of Man. Something like that.
No one has ever gone to heaven and returned, but the Son of Man has come down from heaven. And as Moses lifted up the bronze snake on a pole in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up, so that everyone who believes in him will have eternal life. How God
Yes.
loved the world. Yeah.
Yes, it's that belief. Everyone who believes in him. Isn't that wonderful? Not everyone who speaks in tongues. Not everybody who is baptized. Everyone who believes. Ooh.
Yep.
Anyway.
Come on now.
I love that part. It makes me so
Yes.
happy. But in the wilderness, all they had to do, they had to believe that they would be saved. Because think about this, like if they just looked at it, because they're like, let me just look at it real quick. They say I'm gonna be saved, so let me just see. I don't think it was gonna work like that. You had to really believe and have that like true transformation and repentance. That's what I think it was about. They had to have true repentance. Otherwise, maybe they were just gonna die. What happened?
I was looking at it right now, and it just says, "Look at it."
Yeah.
You don't have to believe. They just have to look.
We didn't even say
But
that.
didn't they have to have some type of belief though? Like,
But they
don't you have to
have-
have some type of faith?
They didn't have a lot of heart posturing back then.
That's true.
That's
That's
not
true.
what they were operating on back then. So it kind of makes sense. But it said, "Look at that thing, and they'll be healed."
Do you think that there were some people who did not look at it?
Yeah, because
Most
think about it, it's
definitely.
a sick joke. The same thing that or it can be seen as a sick joke to people because it's like the same thing that's been biting me. I have to look at now, and that's gonna save me.
So is that not faith for some of them to look at it and some of them not to look at it and think that they will be healed?
The action itself.
The action. Yeah. It's like some kind of works, something. Faith plus works. I don't know. When I see it, I feel like it has to be some type of faith because
But all the faith
it doesn't
is
say though. You're right. It
action,
doesn't say and believe.
All their
It doesn't
faith is
require
faith
belief.
through action because they don't have, like we said, they're different than us. So they don't have the Jesus yet. So like a lot of their faith is displayed through action. So like saying, because it's almost like saying you should. It's almost like looking up at this is like kind of like saying you need to look at that and worship that as a snake on a pole, but I'm over here getting bit by snakes. You want me to be over here looking at something that's like, it almost feels like I'm supposed to be worshiping it in a sense, but it's like if you look at it, you'll be healed because I told you to look at it. And that's simple as that.
Like it takes faith to look at it.
Yeah.
Considering how disobedient they were, I'm just surprised that they did it. I'm just, because it seems
Yeah,
like
not all of them.
Not all of them did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah, 26,000
Yeah.
died.
Yeah, because in the show, remember how they kind of made it seem like, I think Moses was talking to Joshua, and Joshua was looking at him like, "Why are you making this thing like everybody getting bit by snakes? What you doing in here?" He's like, "Come on, it's an act of faith. They just gotta look at it, and don't you see?" I gotta go back and watch that. I've watched all the seasons like
what is that
like 2 or 3 times. I'm waiting for season 3. Like patiently,
we all are.
Yes, I just need to be afraid one day, like just sitting in my room, and then in the living room, all I hear is, ah!
Come on,
and be like,
child, come on, we need
my god,
the water.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes, but also the whole serpent situation and like the bronze serpent, it speaks to the verse that says, and he that knew no sin was made sin so that we can be made righteous, made the righteousness of God in him. Because what was going to save them looked exactly like what was killing them.
That's good. That is so good. That is so good. Ooh.
Yeah.
I just had to think about Jesus for a second. Okay. All right. Let's see. We're an hour and 15 in. We're going to move in. I'm just going to move us in. We're going to move into our intercessory prayer because it is a lot of shenanigans in Numbers. Yeah. And most of the shenanigans are about rebellion, honestly. Like, who do I have written down first? I want to say
them hungry people.
When they was complaining about the food. And they were like, "We tired of this manna." First of all,
quail.
Yeah.
They are complaining about manna that is falling from heaven. Like, you literally don't have to do anything for food but wake up in the morning. I think that was in Numbers 11, chapter 11.
I think so too.
And they were complaining. I just don't know how you complain that hard against God. I mean, I guess they were tired of eating. They said it resembled like coriander dust. So I guess it's like, ooh, I don't want to keep eating that. But bro, you're in the wilderness. Get over it. You're not
wilderness.
Like, what you want? 5-course meal?
They got that 5-course meal.
40 years.
40
plus years, because they was there for 2 years before they actually started just walking around.
Yeah.
And then got turned back around.
I get it, but you just cannot be, because the way God responded to them is the way that I be responded to people. It is, and how I would probably respond to my son. It won't happen right now because he's only 3, but when he's 15 and he want to jump crazy with me, I might have to respond with giving him, okay, that's what you want? Okay. I give you all of it. I give you over to your desires until you don't want to know more, until it's coming out of your nostrils. God told them, I'm going to give you this quail, but I'm going to give you so much, and you better eat it too. You better eat it all.
Better eat all of it.
You better eat it all. Like, it's like when your kid is begging for pizza, and they don't want to eat what you cook. They beg for pizza. You order them 20 pizzas, and you say you better eat all 20 pizzas.
Since you want it so bad.
They gonna throw up.
Eat it till you're blue in the face.
Because it ain't as good as you think.
It's not.
It's not. That's what he did to them. One of my most favorite parts in the whole, I laughed reading it. I laughed. It's probably one of my most favorite verses. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's like, it's the most hilarious thing I've ever written. Let me see. It says, while the meat was still between their teeth before it was chewed, the Lord's anger burned against the people, and the Lord struck them with a severe plague. Oh wait, where was it? Where was the other part at when he said they was go choke on it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Tell the people, consecrate yourselves in readiness for tomorrow, and you will eat meat because you wept in the Lord's hearing. Who will feed us meat? We were better off in Egypt. The Lord will give you meat, and you will eat. You will eat, not for 1 day, or 2 days, or 5 days, or 10 days, or 20 days, but for a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils and becomes nauseating to you, because you have rejected the Lord, who was among you, and wept before him. Why did we ever leave Egypt?
Go ahead, feast.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. It's coming out your nostrils. God is so funny. I don't know if I'm like a weird person, but I read that and I laugh.
I read that too, and I was like, "Dang!" God was like, he was mad.
He said not 1 day, not 2 days, not 5 days, not 10 days. He went not 20.
Look, God with the pillar of smoke. You hear me? Like he want all of it.
Pillar of smoke.
Oh my God!
God want all the smoke.
He wanted all the smoke.
Oh, you want meat?
Who else did I want to talk about?
Chef hat on.
Bro, God, chef hat on. Bet, say less.
Okay.
Say less. I'm gonna send all the meat possible.
Them little desert pigeons.
Who else was on my list?
Quail are like desert pigeons.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh. But quail, I like quail though. I like quail.
Yeah, but like they look like desert pigeons.
That's true.
They're like this big.
They ain't that good to be eating them that much, and I know they ain't season them good.
So that means
they
there
ain't had
was
to season
quail everywhere.
They ain't had the seasoning Papacitos have.
Wait, okay. This just popped into my brain. So all of those who were Nazarites, right? Mm-hmm. This, like, they can't eat it. So like,
they just gotta. They better go get that manna
because they can't touch dead things. They can't touch carcasses. So if you're like holding a dead quail that you have to eat.
You have to go get that manna. That's what you have to do.
I don't know. I don't know how they do that. It's a dead animal. I don't know if they can actually like eat anything with the lifeblood in it or anything like that.
Well, everybody had to cook the food, but I don't know.
Like, can a Nazarite eat cooked meat?
I don't know. I don't remember that part.
No. But yeah, that just crossed my brain. Like, wait,
they couldn't be around nobody
at all.
They was over there just eating whatever the grass.
Yeah, for
real. But it kind of makes sense, like
just mad.
When you are being that close to God, He be very specific because you cannot be unholy around me because I am the holy of holies.
Yeah,
so don't be unholy around me.
Yeah,
you can't.
I just can't. I can't even try to help you because once you're unholy by me, my first reaction is just to be like. Shh, and you're dead.
All those rules, like so many rules, and then like a lot of people be like, "Bro, why are there so many rules?" But if you're thinking about like, if we're talking about the most perfect God, the most holy of holy, like there's nothing wrong, like there's no impurity with Him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you?
And he's trying to be with you, so he's trying to tell you how you can be with Him.
Exactly.
And you mad about rules, but if you come too close to me, you go die.
Right, like you're not just gonna pick up a porcupine because it's cute and hug it.
Exactly. So it's just like He really was like, y'all got to be holy around me, and I'm a neat freak. Y'all got to get it together.
Yeah, I'm trying my best with y'all, but it's not working.
And you were saying something about how, like on Sunday, how like he wanted to be around, or like he was mad and he was like, and Moses was like, come with us, Lord, and God was like,
he was going
give me a sec.
Right after they had I think it was right after they complained about something. They was complaining about something. It was probably
per usual.
Water or something. They were complaining per usual. And then God was fed up and he was like, I'm gonna wipe them clean. Moses, go find your woman because we starting over. And he was like, whoa, right? And then he had already previously promised them, I'm going to bring y'all over. I'm going to let y'all conquer this land, right? And so even though he was mad, I mean mad, big mad, godly mad. He was mad at them, but he still like, even in the midst of him being mad, he kept his promise. It was like, y'all going to conquer these people. And so then Moses was like, on their way there, Moses was like, God, come with us. Like, we want your presence. I want your presence to be with us. He's like, no, I can't do that. I can't be with y'all right now. He was like,
if I show up right now, it's
exactly. Like the people are making me away. I don't want to be around them right now.
I don't want to look at them.
I said I wanted to wipe them out. That was not fake. I still feel that.
Yeah, I gotta calm down.
Yeah, I gotta calm down. And I was like, the Lord be knowing, like, he be even understanding himself, like, I can't walk with y'all right now because I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, that's funny. Like, for one, that statement that just says to his character, like he even promised them, "I'm going to deliver y'all over these people." Got mad at y'all because of y'all complaining and not believing in him. But he was like, "I said what I said, so like, come on, we gotta go. Y'all gotta go conquer them, like I told y'all was going to, like y'all were going to. So like, I'm gonna keep my promise, but I'm mad at y'all, and I can't really be walking with y'all right now." I'm in the midst of that. Like, I'm gonna keep my promise.
It's such a parent thing. Like that's
it is.
Yeah, he's like, really a parent.
Make your mom mad, and she's just like, I can't even look at you right now. I can't even see your face right now. Just go to your room.
Yeah.
And do you want cheese on your sandwich or not?
Right. I
you still want dinner?
Basically.
For real. And still cook off the crust on your sandwich and all that.
And now you feel like crap because you're like, my mom is mad at me and she cut all the crust off my pizza.
But she's still feeding me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Too much.
That's why they are the children of Israel.
Yes.
Because they mad childish.
Aren't we all?
It sounds better than the children of Jacob.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Doesn't have the same appeal.
Jacob is very hard on my ears.
Yeah, God was like, I'm going to have to change that name. Jacob name ain't going to work. He was like, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change that name for future references.
Yeah. Help us all.
All these people came from Abraham. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like 2 million people, and like everyone's a family almost.
Mm-hmm.
So much.
And all those rules, like, okay, like y'all was talking about last week. Y'all can't be sleeping with everybody no more.
Oh yeah, like everyone's family basically, but it's like you can't sleep with your brother, you can't sleep with your dad's uncle's sister, you can't.
Y'all been wilding out. They was probably doing all that. We had to tell them no because somebody was already doing it. Mm-hmm. Somebody was sleeping with their daddy's sister's wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why you have these random like state ordinances and stuff like. You can't, like eat oranges on a Tuesday, like that kind of thing. It's because somebody messed it up.
Somebody was doing something weird with the oranges on Tuesday.
Messed it up for everybody.
Basically.
And now we can't sleep with our sisters.
Here we are. Yes. Here we are. Striking the rock twice.
Let's talk about striking the rock. I did want to talk about Miriam and Aaron because they made me mad.
Yeah. Do that first.
Okay, let me see. I feel like I had a note. I think I did have a note on them. Because remember when we talked about one time how we thought that Moses' wife was Ethiopian? Mm-hmm. And we didn't know where we got that from? Because in our translation...
It says Ethiopian in the King James Version.
Yes, in the King James Version it says Ethiopian. But in everything else it says Cushite woman. Mm-hmm. But then, remember when we were talking about Zipporah was from Midian. Where is Midian? So this is the theory. There's some theories real quick that maybe Zipporah died and this is a second wife who is Ethiopian. Or maybe it could be an additional wife. But I don't think so because Moses ain't had time for that.
Honestly.
He did not.
And then there's also a theory that maybe Zipporah and like Jethro, maybe their family was actually Ethiopian. They just lived in Midian. I don't think we'll ever know. But this is the reason why they intercessory prayer. Aaron, I'm going to say it real quick. Aaron and Miriam, again, like my Korah people, they rose up against Moses, against their own brother. I think they were kind of getting a little like, well, while my brother got power, I hear from God too, which you do. I think Miriam was actually a prophetess, but you got to relax. Like, So she was tripping. They were mad at him for marrying the Ethiopian woman. Is that why they were mad at him?
I have no idea.
Is this a race thing?
I don't even remember why they were mad at him.
I think that's why. Let me see. They said Miriam and Aaron criticized Moses because of the Cushite woman he married.
Well, that's plain.
So what about her are they criticizing? Is it her appearance? Was something she did?
Was it her character?
Is it because she's black? Because I feel like she's black. Even though I know there were people of color too.
But, it's like, I don't think it's like.
Not like they're white, but, I'm just like, what's up? Like,
I'm not
why
sure
are you mad?
This in that way because racism didn't happen until race.
Yeah, I don't think it was a race.
Because she's not an Israelite?
But they didn't like her for something.
Foreigners among them. So it wouldn't be because she's not an Israelite, because they had multiple foreigners that lived with them.
And they had a lot of people. I learned today that more than the Israelites came out of Egypt. There were even Egyptians that came with them, other foreigners, because there were also Egyptian slaves.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know why they were criticizing her. I don't know if that's the reason they were in intercessory. Well, is that why they're in there? Yes, because they were tripping, but they got their punishment. Even though, why Aaron didn't get punished?
That's what I was wondering.
Again, attacks on women that I'm not sure if I have to work it out with God. But when they rebelled against Moses, Miriam comes down with, what was it, leprosy or something else, some kind of skin disease.
It was leprosy.
And Aaron had to ask him to intercede for them, but nothing happened to Aaron. And Aaron messes up more than once. And I don't see nobody striking him with a plague. Aaron already on my bad side once or twice, because he on the bad list for that golden calf.
Do y'all think it's because? So, like, I just went over the chapter right now, and so when she gets the leprosy, Aaron like pretty much just panics and cries out, and so he's the one that has to go to Moses, and so. So like if it was Aaron that got leprosy and it was, I don't know, I feel like her getting affected him too, even though it wasn't direct to him.
I wonder if it had to do with the fact that he was a priest, and so like not the fact that he didn't get the leprosy, but the fact that because his sister had leprosy, well, because of like their cleansing and all that kind of stuff, him having been near her when her like stuff started happening, like he was also unclean. The unclean was across the board, so he still had to go through like all of the ceremonial whatever to be clean. So like I guess I mean he was punished by proxy, I guess, just because he took on all of the judgment that she got, he took on too.
I didn't think about that he was a priest. That makes sense. But I just want to touch on them.
Around someone makes them unclean,
right?
Even if it's your family. Okay, let's wrap up with Moses striking the rock, because that is like our climax right there. I don't know what he was thinking.
Okay,
he was doing so good.
He was going so good. He was doing so well, and then
it's that anger problem.
See, I'm not sure if it was the anger.
He was mad at them.
Yeah, he was mad at them. He been mad at them this whole time.
He was mad.
And he been following what God said, and he been mad at them this whole time.
Yeah,
so I don't know if it was necessarily him being mad at them,
because he hasn't up until that point. He's never disobeyed God.
Exactly, but I feel like it was more of
what it represented.
Not just that, but why he struck it twice. Why he struck it at all, because he was only supposed to speak to it. And so it's like, oh, well, I've done this before, because didn't he strike a rock closer to Egypt?
Yeah, it was an Exodus.
It was more than one time.
So it's like, okay, cool, rock, strike, water.
Right.
So then he acted as his own God or their own God by striking the rock, because that was his own decision.
Like, I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this. I've done it before.
And so it's like when we expect God to move the same way that he's moved in the past, and we miss it because he's not there. He's somewhere else. And so it's like, dude, like that small inkling of pride to think that I know what's going on now because I've done so much of this, right? And so you strike it once and nothing happens,
like it was before.
Yeah, he strikes it once and nothing happens. He strikes it again, and then water comes out, which is only the grace of God.
Yeah, I wonder how he still got the water to come out. You would think that God would be like, nah.
Grace.
Nah, listen, I would have rather God not let the water come out, because then he probably would have still been able to go to the promised land. But now it's like, I extended grace because I have to, like, God had to reestablish his character amongst the people. So it's like, if God said to look at a rock and you come in and you strike it twice, and now like you're he's acting as God. He's a representation of God to the people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, you're no longer in sync with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I have to do something about it. So I'm going to handle the people, give them the water, but listen, me and you gonna have to talk. And like, you can't go into the promised land because that was a fundamental thing. Like, you had to be in sync with me, and you stopped being in sync with me. And as outlandish as that sounds, like, I was like, everybody else is complaining over and over and over again. Like, Moses messes up once and he gets completely stricken from the promised
but
land.
you got more responsibility.
Mm-hmm. You were the
got
full
more,
representation.
like, you can't be messing up the way everybody else do. Like, that's just how it is. When you have certain positions, we all human and everybody falls, but not everybody can fall as much all the time. Because when you're in a position of leadership, you can't be like everybody else. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Do you think that it was because he wasn't listening? Like,
I think it was the significance of the event.
Yeah,
because of what it was doing for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the Lord told him to go tell Aaron something, and then he didn't tell him, or he told him something different. I don't feel like it would have been as significant.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, why wouldn't he just speak to the rock? Like, that seems easier.
Going based on what
listening. It seemed like more of an Aaron
going based on what he's already done.
Yeah, there's a belief thing. Well, I know what I know because I've seen what I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I guess I would just never think about Moses having any disbelief, but I don't know why I would think that. I feel like he had, a lot of trust in God, but not at that moment.
I mean, we can get comfortable. I feel like, honestly, he just got comfortable.
Complacency.
Yeah, because it was a lot of routine for him, and like, it was like, okay, like, I go to God.
Complaining.
Yeah.
Water, rock. Okay, I strike it.
Yeah,
that's what I did last
time. He was just getting tired. You could see he made a few speeches in Numbers about how, like, God, take these people away from me. Like, what am I, like, their mama? Like, I'm done. Like, there was one part where he was like, I would just kill me now. Like, he was like, I'm ready to go. Yep. I'm ready to go. Because they just getting on my nerves that bad. So maybe he was just frustrated.
Yeah, and also, like, as I was reading, there was a section at the bottom of my Bible, like a note, commentary note and whatnot. But the magnitude of him striking the rock twice is the reason why he wasn't allowed into the promised land. So the rock represents Jesus, and Jesus should never be stricken twice, aka crucified twice. And so when you take matters into your own hands and become your own God to provide for yourself, and then you're like, he didn't speak to the rock the way God said for him to go, and we are to believe in our heart and confess with our mouth, like this confession that he was supposed to be making to this rock. And he didn't do that. Instead, he decided to work instead of, there was another level of faith that he needed to, like, step into, that God was trying to pull him into, and to create this picture of Jesus. And he listened, he heard it, he did not do it. And that slip in obedience, like cost him the promised land. Because we aren't to put Jesus back on the cross. Yeah, we try to work to warrant or to deserve,
to merit ourselves,
to merit the water coming out of that rock. We're putting Jesus back on the cross. Whenever we try to justify ourselves, we disqualify the justifier in our life. And so now he had to receive the full the full repercussions of his actions, because he removed his justifier.
Yeah.
And so he had to take that all on himself, because his action was saying, I'm God now.
Now the judgment has to go to you, because you decided to take out who the judgment is actually supposed to go against.
Dang.
Yeah. It's tough.
It is.
It's like, you were doing so great, but the one part that almost like matters the most,
you failed on that one.
You missed it, and that one missing will cost everything. Like you said, because it represents Jesus. So like, he came so that our works, he came so that it wouldn't depend on our works anymore. right?
Mm-hmm.
I told you to speak to the rock because last time I told you to strike it, but that was work. I don't want you to work for this time. It's
Mm-hmm.
completely
I want you to do what I said to do.
I want you to do what I say and just believe in what I say and speak to this thing, confess to it that the Lord told me that you are gonna,
Provide water.
flow water.
Yeah.
So flow water.
It's like he struck it once, meaning there was the law.
There was the law.
Right? We received the law, which is works. And then, dead works now, but works. And then now when he's saying confess, there's that second layer, that new covenant action of confessing your belief, that now we have God's laws written on our hearts so that they're not in tablets. They're like it's even greater than the laws that were written on tablets because they're written on our hearts, and we get to walk in the ways of the Lord without working to deserve anything. We can't cleanse ourselves. And so it was just all of these different things wrapped up in him striking this rock, and the fact that he did it twice. Just, I feel like if he did it once and nothing happened and then he confessed to it, I feel like he'd be fine. I feel like
maybe
striking it twice because Jesus should is never to be crucified twice.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know. We'll never know if he would have struck it once.
Right. Yeah,
maybe. We'll never know. We also never know. I mean, I wonder if he had done it right, would he have lived even longer, or would he got to the promised land and died there?
Oh, he would have got to the promised land.
Yeah, he would have seen it at least.
Yeah. I mean, he got to see it. He saw it.
He can go in, but
he saw it. He just can't go across the river.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and that's God's grace anyway, allowing him to see it.
Yeah,
because of all of what he had been working up until then was to lead them into the promised land, and the fact that God didn't strike him dead there, like he still lived enough to be able to see what God had promised him, and then he died.
Yeah. R.I.P. Moses.
What's the equivalent?
R.I.P. Moses.
But you don't get any rewards at all.
Ooh.
But like, it feels like you can't make it to heaven because the promised land is heaven.
Ooh, that's good. He said, "Say it, babe."
I was like, "What's the equivalent like when it comes to Jesus?" Because essentially, us getting into heaven, the only thing you have to do is believe in Jesus. The rewards in heaven are predicated on how you live out your life and how you represent God. So, like in his case, when you strike the rock twice and now you can't make it into the promised land, is that like you getting into heaven and you don't get to reap any of the fruit that God has in heaven, or is it like you don't make it into heaven because he saw the promised land?
I don't know. That's a hard one right there. Because one thing to see heaven, but
because in Corinthians it says it's like someone who has barely escaped hell. So it's like he's right there.
Yeah,
he's not receiving like any.
There's no reward.
He's just there. He was there.
He was at the bottom almost. Yeah. Really, like you
was in the projects of heaven.
You really ain't even getting nothing.
Heaven got projects.
But I feel like that's like in real life though. I feel like Moses getting a lot of rewards in heaven though.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
In real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the symbolism.
Yeah, I don't think it's in vain. No. I think it was just like
symbolically is what we're
symbolically.
I can't allow you give this representation wrongly. And
I can't be going back on my promise, because if I told the people when you do something bad or when you don't make it in, I can't let you make it in. You the leader of the whole thing. No, Joshua go be the leader now because he got the vision. But yeah, I think we're getting close to our 2-hour mark.
We are good.
We did pretty good though. I'm very proud of us. We probably could have talked about more, but we talked about the most important things. And I am glad I can chop this video up really good with good subjects when I finally get to it.
Don't be complaining when the Lord is about to take you somewhere, because if you complain, you could be right next to your promised land, and then you spend another 40 years just walking around.
Oh, that's a great way to end it.
Because they were right there.
And he turned them all the way around and was like, I'm going to take you back by the Red Sea. Remember
that? Gosh. I didn't know that. I knew they wandered for 40 years, but I didn't know it was.
They was like going in circles.
Yes, but I didn't know it was like he didn't intend for them to do it for 40 years. I thought it was always like it was going to take them 40 years to get there.
No, it was 40 years because you keep complaining, and I can't bring you in to the promised land acting like
open the land. And it was like it's right there. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna figure it out. The Lord got us. Oh my God, we can't do this. 40 years, like
became the purification from Egypt.
Yes,
basically, because I cannot take you into your next season with your old season still attached.
It barely worked though. It honestly barely worked. They did good for a second, and then they started wilding out again.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they was
wilding.
They was wilding. We're gonna get to all the wilding, but as always. We love you guys. We really appreciate Kalik for being our first guest on our episode. If you made it to the end of this episode, you are a real G. You love us, and we love you back. So if you gotta listen to it broken up, that's fine. Like it, subscribe, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Let us know how you like it. Give us like a 5-star review. What else? You know, like they say, hit all the buttons. Hit all the buttons. Tell a friend so they can tell a friend so we can all learn about God together. Yes. And you know, in a way that's good for the millennials' ear. Mm-hmm. Are we all millennials here? I think so. I'm a millennial. Yeah. I think most of our demographic is millennials.
I can pick one because apparently I'm not a millennial.
What year were you born?
Oh, 99.
99?
Yes, baby. I'm young. Okay?
Wow.
You gotta have to pick on me about it.
Okay, hold on. I'm about to end the broadcast. We're going to stay there. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.